Do you have a gassy or constipated baby? In this video, I give you a full guide on how to help your baby fast. Welcome back, beautiful mama, and if you're new to my channel, my name is Gabrielle, and I provide information to achieve a blissful motherhood through childcare tips and products and how to make money from home. When my daughter was born, she was a very gassy and constipated baby, so I had to learn all the tips and tricks on how to treat her. And now I would love to share this information with you so that you can also turn your colicky, gassy, or constipated baby into a happy baby. So let's dive right into it. The first group of ways in which you can improve constipation and gassiness is using the proper feeding techniques. Whether you bottle feed your baby or breastfeed your baby, these are the things I recommend. Make sure that you are using a proper latch. If your baby is not latched properly to your breast, air gets in and produces lots of gassiness. If you want more in-depth information on how to achieve a proper latch and all about breastfeeding, I recommend that you check this playlist here, where I provide you with all the information to have a blissful breastfeeding experience. The other thing that you should be aware of is that you have to use the right brand of bottle and also the right stage of bottle. Depending on your child's age, whether your baby is a newborn or a little older, the baby bottle's nipple should be different, because the flow of the milk or formula is important to control how much gas enters your baby's stomach. Honestly, the only brand of bottle I recommend is Dr. Brown's. I'll place a link in the description. I tried many other brands and I was not happy with them. Medella's bottles that have the shape of a breast were okay. Those work pretty well too to prevent gassiness, but definitely the best ones are Dr. Brown's. When you're breastfeeding your baby or bottle feeding your baby, I recommend that you always make sure that your baby's head is above the level of his or her tummy. I'm going to show you. When you're breastfeeding your baby, you have to make sure, like I said, that the head is above the tummy. And that way, the food doesn't go back and the air is able to come out. Whatever air is going in is able to come out. And when you're bottle feeding your baby, make sure your baby is at a 45-degree angle, preferably. Also, babies that drink formula usually have a bigger tendency towards gassiness and constipation. This could be due to sensitivity to the milk proteins or lactose in the formula. If everything else that I'm showing you in this video fails and your baby continues to be very gassy and constipated, it could be due to that or due to an underdevelopment of their digestive system. My daughter was breastfed, but in her case, she had an underdeveloped digestive system. She was born through an emergency C-section 2 weeks early, and I think this affected her digestive development. Another thing that could cause extreme constipation or gassiness is introducing solids to your baby's diet too early. Although some people recommend introducing solids around the age of 4 months or 6 months, it depends on the baby. Preferably, I think you should exclusively breastfeed or formula feed until your baby is at least 1 year old to avoid problems with constipation. My son, for example, began eating solids slowly at 4 months, and he didn't have any issues. But my daughter, when she started eating solids at 6 months, it became a huge issue. She became extremely constipated. Her tummy was not ready for solids. So I had to stop giving her solids and wait until she was 1 year old. The second group of ways in which you can solve gassiness is by trying different burping positions. And remember to always burp your baby during feeding sessions. While you're feeding your baby, if your baby gets fussy, it's time to burp. That doesn't mean you have concluded your feeding session. It just means it's time to burp before continuing. These are the burping positions that I recommend. There is a typical burping position in which you hold your baby over your shoulder. Some people put a bib. My babies, luckily, never spit up when I burp them. I was very lucky. Usually when they spit up a lot, it's because they're being overfed and probably you have too much milk or giving them too much formula. Remember, the tummies are really small, but it's not always due to that. Anyways, so this is a typical burping position and you pat their back lightly. Remember to do it very gently. And if after a while of patting, your baby still doesn't burp, what you can do is just hold your baby. Remember to always hold the back of the head if your baby still doesn't have full control of their neck. And just hold your baby upright for a bit and just kind of give it a moment. Sometimes they burp when you do this. If not, then you can continue trying or try a different position. The next position that I recommend is sitting down, preferably using a breastfeeding pillow. You sit your baby like this, and then with your hand, not over the neck, but holding like near the ears. You hold their head and you lean them forward a little bit and you gently pat your baby's back until he or she burps. And you can also like move your baby back and forth very gently. Always remember to handle your baby very gently. And that also helps the air come up. Another very useful burping position is when you hold your baby over your arm. This position places a little bit of pressure on the tummy, which also helps. And you put the two little legs like that. And remember, keep your baby like on an angle where the head is above the tummy. And again, don't grab your baby like this because you'll strangle your baby. Just hold your baby best you can like this. The chin is supported by your hand and then you pat. That also helps. Or if not, you can do it with this arm. Remember always to be very careful when you're handling your baby. So you put your baby in this arm and it's similar and then pat your baby. And that will also help your baby burp. And finally, another good thing that you can do is to place your baby in a vibrating chair. Those are at a nice angle and the vibration kind of stirs the bubbles out of them. But you should burp your baby before putting him or her on a chair. It is very important to burp your baby because if the gas stays in your baby's body, that's when it becomes an issue and your baby will be very uncomfortable and maybe even in pain. The third group of ways in which you can help your baby is massage and exercises. I will demonstrate each one. The first set of exercises that you can do to relieve your baby's gassiness and to help your baby poop is tummy pulls. You massage your baby's tummy gently from top to bottom. Remember to do it very, very gently. Don't push too hard. There's also circular massage, and it has to be clockwise. You rub your baby's tummy in circles like this. Don't push too hard. It must be a bit firm, but not too hard. The one that really worked for me with my daughter was the I Love You massage. That one is highly recommended by pediatricians. And the way you do it is on the left side of your baby's abdomen. You start with the I, and then you do the L for love, and then the U. So I love you. And that helps push the poop and the gas out. Another thing that gives you very quick results are the leg pumps. You push very gently the legs to the chest and back. Very gently. Don't force your baby. If your baby resists, don't force it. Just do it very gently. Most babies really enjoy this, and you'll surely get a fart very soon. And to help it a bit more, you can do rotations. Rotations are really good at getting that gas out and to stimulate a bowel movement. And if you want even faster results, after you push, you can pull out legs and then push again and then pull out the legs. All these movements have to be done slowly and gently. Don't do that. Just be gentle. In and out. In and out. Be very gentle, and I can assure you, you're going to get a fart any moment, or even a poop. My daughter would start pooping when I did this. There's also the bicycle kicks. Those are pretty famous. Basically, you gently move your baby's legs like this, doing bicycle kicks. And if you include a little rotation, that helps a lot too. Babies usually have fun doing this. Also, don't force it. If your baby stiffens their legs or it's extremely uncomfortable, don't force it. And after you do this, you can also do a pull, and that usually goes. So, yeah, a mix of all these exercises is what I used to do, and I always got an immediate solution. Just remember to be very gentle doing these movements. Your baby's hips and legs are very delicate, and we don't want to cause a dislocation. And if your baby seems to be in severe pain when doing this and their tummy feels hard, the intestine could be too clogged up and it's time to go to the doctor. There's also a couple of reflexology solutions. Grab your baby's foot and clockwise rub their little feet. That somehow stimulates their tummy too. And you can do it on both legs. And for their hands, you move your finger from top to bottom on the index finger and bottom to top on the thumb. And finally, clockwise circles on the back of the hand. Don't ask me how this works, but it definitely worked. Although the one that worked more was the one on the foot. And finally, you can also give your baby a warm bath at the end of the day. That helps a lot because it relaxes your baby. Many babies have trouble relaxing their sphincter. They don't know how to do it, and their body still isn't very sure how to do it. So A warm bath is always helpful to help them relax. My daughter would start releasing gas the moment she fell asleep, so that proves my point. And that's also what the pediatrician told me. The fourth group of ways in which you can help your baby is through over-the-counter products. I'm not such a big fan of this because then you're recurring to external chemicals to treat your baby, and I must insist that you talk to your pediatrician before giving your baby any kind of over-the-counter medication. Even if they're over-the-counter, they can be dangerous for your baby, especially newborns. So please consult your pediatrician beforehand. Some of the available over-the-counter solutions for treating gassiness and constipation are Mylicum gas drops and also Mylicum probiotics. Another one that I sometimes used was Mommy's Bliss gripe water. This one seemed to help quite a bit when my daughter was very constipated and gassy. My pediatrician also prescribed Miralax for the moments where my baby was very constipated. I am not a fan of laxatives, but this one seemed pretty mild, and with a very small dose, it did the trick. But like I said, be careful and always consult your pediatrician. Never use Miralax without consulting your pediatrician. And another very popular over-the-counter solution is the Frida Baby Windy. It's a little artifact that you insert in your baby's butt. And I must say, I am not a fan of this method. Many moms rave about how well it works, but I must give you a word of warning. Your baby's rectum, which is basically the inside of their butt, is very delicate. And inserting anything up their rectum, including a thermometer, can be very dangerous. If you don't properly use this artifact or even a thermometer, you could perforate your baby's rectum, and that is a very serious condition. Your baby will need surgery. So please be very careful. I don't recommend using this artifact. I'm sorry, Frida Baby. I'm a huge fan of your booger puller, but I am not happy with this solution. I think it could be very dangerous. So please consult your pediatrician. And if you really want to use this option, ask your pediatrician to show you how to use it. But I think there are better ways to solve a baby's gassiness without incurring in that high risk. To be honest with you, I would never use the Frida Baby Windy. The risk is just not worth it. And the fifth way in which you can improve or eliminate your baby's gassiness and constipation is to watch your diet. If you are breastfeeding and you've tried everything and your baby still continues to be gassy and constipated, it might be your diet. There are certain foods that we transmit to our babies producing severe gassiness or even mild gassiness. Believe it or not, yes, beans also do that to your baby. So if you're eating beans, that could be a problem for your baby's gassiness. If you're interested in learning the effects of what you eat on breastfeeding and on your baby, check out this video that I made about lactogenic foods, also called galactagogues. In that video, I explain the effect of the food you eat on breastfeeding. And for your baby's diet, if he or she is old enough to be eating solids, make sure to include fruits, vegetables, and lots of water in their diet to prevent constipation. I hope this information will be helpful so that you can soothe your baby and reduce or eliminate gassiness and constipation. And both can be resolved pretty easily with the massages and the exercises that I'm showing you. Some of the relief from that will be immediate. You'll literally see your baby fart or burp right away. But the improvement of your baby's gassiness and constipation also depends on your baby's digestive tract development. My daughter took a while before she stopped being constipated. And even now, she does have the tendency to be constipated. But all these solutions that I have given you really helped ease her suffering. And she went from being a very colicky and gassy baby to being a very happy and smiley baby in no time. If your baby doesn't have a poop in more than 2 days, it can be very dangerous. So always remember to keep track of how many times your baby poops. There are apps that allow you to track your baby's bowel movements and even the amount of pee they have. Sometimes on your pediatrician appointment, they will ask you those. Or you can even write them down on some notebook. If the symptoms persist and all else fails, please call your pediatrician. It is a very delicate thing when a baby is not pooping or when your baby is crying excessively. There could be a serious underlying condition. So please remember to call your pediatrician if the symptoms persist. Remember that your baby's digestive system could be immature, like it was in the case of my daughter. So it may take a while before all symptoms go away. In the meantime, you know all the steps you have to take to soothe your baby. By the way, I have placed the links to the products mentioned in this video in the description. I love providing information so that you can have a blissful motherhood. If you like this kind of information, please like and subscribe, and remember to watch my next video.